Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. Thank you for allowing us to share some moments with you. What I want to start off is going to be in English, obviously. My Asa is weak. Actually, it's not there. I've been living in Malaysia for the last 18 months, running this company. But before I get into the presentation, I want to ask you, because I want to make this interactive from the beginning. How many of you are entrepreneurs? Just raise your hand. Right? How many of you sell online? Okay. How many would you like to sell online? How many of you would like to have your own company online that doesn't cost you anything to be on a website? So you're basically telling me that you want to be online because of market access. You want to reach customers that are beyond your footprint, traffic to the store. You want to find new customers, and it shouldn't cost you anything. Right? That's what you guys are looking for. Fair. So when you came up with this idea of Zilzar, first thing you probably have on your mind is, what does Zilzar mean? It means nothing. The way we approach this, and the way I suggest you all to approach a business, is do it from the point of view of Google. When Google was first launched, did anyone know what the meaning of Google was? No. Only people in math knew what Google meant, right? It's an infinite number. So whenever you're thinking about a brand, because brand goes to perception, which goes to reality. Sometimes the brand of a company is worth more than its revenue. Remember that. So Zilzar is actually a combination of two words. Zar is from bazaar, and Zil is from zillion. So it's basically a bazaar of a large number of people, products, pricing. Right? It's a souk, if you will. But we did not, and I did not take the B2C route. The reason I didn't take the B2C route is, to me, it was a crowded marketplace. I was looking for the next China story. Everyone's interested in the China potential, correct? To this day, if I can basically put a seed in your head that what we have is a virtual China, would you be interested? It costs you nothing. Right? So, we looked at B2C, and then I looked at India and Flipkart and Snapdeal and Amazon. I didn't look at Malaysia because Malaysia is embryonic, meaning it's a newcomer in the B2C space. We've done a wonderful job at Beaumont, congratulations. 11th Street is there, Gem 5 is there. Malaysia's population of 30 million, right? It's small compared to its neighbor of 250 million. It's small compared to its neighbor of 60 million. What you're not seeing is venture capital money coming in from India or the West into Malaysia. It's going to Thailand and Indonesia and Philippines and even Singapore. But why isn't it coming to Malaysia? Right? So I want you to park these points that I say to you. So we said to ourselves, the Muslim world has 57 countries. It's got a population of 2 billion. Okay? Now the question that I ask myself, and I ask you all, as you're looking to become entrepreneurs, you want to first say, the idea that I have is going to solve a problem, correct? You want to do something that solves a problem. Second is, I want to go into a market that's a growth market. The Muslims as a whole, we do two things very well. We eat and we multiply. How do you take advantage of that? Right? So 57 Muslim countries, population of 2 billion, 400 million Muslims living outside the Muslim world. How do we tap this? Park that. So in the Muslim world, you're seeing the increase of internet penetration. In the Muslim world, you're seeing the rise of mobile phones and access to the internet by way of the mobile phones. So the landscape is basically becoming favorable to wanting to do something online. Makes sense, right? Third thing is what you're seeing now is the rise of Muslim consumerism, meaning the Muslims per capita income is rising, therefore they're going to purchase more. Let's not use Malaysia because it's an exception. Let's look at countries like Nigeria, whose population is 180 million, 90 million Muslims. Assume 10% is your target market. That's 9 million. Right? Do the math. So my point is, you want to be in a market that solves a problem that captures the demographic rise with the rising per capita income. Makes sense, right? Right? Because would you want to go and compete against Lelong? I wouldn't want to compete against Lelong. They've done a fantastic job. They own the ecosystem. I've seen 11th Street, I've seen Jam 5, I've seen the competitors. Kudos to you and to Lelong. They've done it'd be stupid for me to go into a B2C marketplace, to be truthful. Now, but I see something that's, I think, going to be of interest to you. Which are the backbone of a country? There are three most important things that are backbone for any country, any emerging market country. Malaysia is an emerging market country. One is the youth. See a lot of young people here. You guys are middle class in the weight. That means you're going to have families, you're going to have incomes. How does Lelong or whoever going to tap you and keep you as a loyal customer? People do not want to make you sensitive to price discounts, because what I'm seeing now is a lot of B2C sites becoming flash sale sites. To get traffic to content, you need to get deep discounts. Right? That's not a sustainable model, and we're seeing this in India, where Flipkart had what we call a markdown and down rounds. I don't want to get to venture capital right now, but it's not a sustainable model. Right? So we said to ourselves, there's the youth. The Muslim world has 500 million people under the age of 30. You want to tap that because all of them are on the grid, meaning on the internet, by the way of their mobile phones. So my target market is not 2 billion. Second is, you ask yourself, okay, what is it that they want? The thing with Muslims is everything is aligned to their faith. If it's food, it's halal. If it's finance, it's Islamic finance. If it's fashion, it's modest fashion. If it's cosmetics, it has to be halal ingredients. If it's pharmaceutical, halal. So you want to see a common denominator. Huh? Park that. The third thing is, how do you tap this market? Last point, the most important stakeholder in any country is SMEs, correct? It's not the multinational companies and it's not the government, it's SMEs. They contribute the largest amount of employment, the largest amount of economic activity. Right? You want to tap those companies who sell to other SMEs. See, dealing at the retail level, it's a very price competitive market. You have what we call margin compression, meaning you make less money. But with SMEs, especially when you bring them online, you're going to make more money. If I can connect you all on the Zilzar platform, which doesn't cost you anything, to a buyer in Nigeria or Pakistan, and then I don't take any of that transaction, you keep all the money in the transaction. Would you be interested in that? I would be, right? So I just wanted to set the table for this because we're not a B2C play, we're a B2B play. So I wanted to start off with basically asking you questions. My point here is not to pitch Zilzar. You guys can read about me and Zilzar at your own leisure. My point here is when you leave from here, at least you'll think about how can I do business online which doesn't cost me so I can put myself on a platform. Important point here is what is the question, this one. Alibaba, Amazon, eBay, okay, online platforms. Tesco, Nestle, Unilever, Walmart. These are the hypermarkets. Pfizer, Novartis, Merck, Sanofi, pharmaceutical companies. Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Taiwan, Philippines, so on and so forth. What? Wait, you put the wrong presentation there. Because I don't read ASA. And the point here is all those companies have one common denominator. They all have halal products. You go to Alibaba, you type in halal, 2,200 suppliers will come in. At Zilzar, we've got close to 2,800, so I've got more halal suppliers than Alibaba, which we're proud of. But my point here is, it's called MIDA, M-I-D-A. My point here is all of these people, all of these companies are trying to capture the Muslim dollar. You know who's making a lot of money? The Chinese people are making a lot of money. The Brazilian people are making a lot of money. The Australian people a lot of money, because in this particular space, the Muslims don't control the supply chain. So here's an opportunity for you to tap into this growing market. Are you having trouble? All right, you know what, just put me on the website. Maybe it'll be easier if I take you through that journey. Sorry about this. Okay. What I'm going to do is, because of, you've heard of wardrobe malfunction, technical malfunction. But you know what, we'll still go forward. So what I want to do is, you're going to have to help me here. What I want to show you is basically something that I think is going to let you appreciate what SMEs have to go through and what SMEs can do. If you're in this space, halal, I see a lot of women wearing hijabs here. One of the things about sites is people come to the sites for products. What happens if you don't have fresh products? You've got to come to the sites for news. Can you click this over here? Right there, just go there. So if you want news from a Google RSS search, you can go to any. So these are featured products and featured companies and certification. All right, self-explanatory. Just go back up to the top page, please. Okay. I want you to hit translate. I want you to hit Malay. Okay, scroll up. See, the biggest issue in trade is everyone assumes it's English. For SMEs, it's the local language. This site can be translated into 28 languages. If you, sir, wanted to trade with someone in Vietnam, you'd have to basically talk to them in Vietnamese, right? If you wanted to speak to someone in Bangladesh, it would have to be in Bengali. If you wanted to speak to someone in China, it'd be simplified Chinese. If you wanted to speak to someone in Arabic, it would be Arabic. Because for trade to happen, there has to be an understanding of what you're saying. Right? Makes sense? So now, what you have is a site using Google Translate to be able to convert what you are trying to convey, even if it's only 40% of what you're trying to convey. This is SME to SME. This is not SME to the man on the street. This is SME to SME. So that's extremely important. Oh, you got it? Okay, fair enough. Do you guys want me to go just through the site? I think it'll be more interesting than giving you a deck. All right, let's just go back to the site. So, because at the end of the day, all of you want to work in the real world. For me, a PowerPoint deck is just me talking to you about what great things I got. I want to show you what great things you can do. That's more important. If I can empower you all to basically find opportunities, that makes you happy, I would assume, right? The great thing about the Chinese people and the Jewish people, they have two great attributes that I absolutely adore, that we've modeled this company after. Just go back to the homepage, just hit this thing over here, please. Is they basically do business within their own community. How did the Chinese community get so big and prominent? How did the Jewish community get big and prominent? They traded within their own community. Like likes to deal with like. Makes sense? So what can the Muslims learn from them? The Muslims have always talked about the Ummah, right? We're all familiar with the concept of Ummah. But the Ummah is dispersed globally. What you couldn't do actually, now you're going to do virtually. Okay? So if you can just go and hit this, please. Okay. I want you to scroll down. Stop. You see what it says, Muslim-owned business and women-owned business? One of the most important things is to stand out. If your product is on a platform that's got 1,000 other products that are like yours, how do you stand out? Maybe you have to pay the platform provider some money in their key search engine so you come up first. And there's still no assurance that the sale will take place. Right? So for us, in the SME space, wholesale space, if you have a Muslim-owned business, and remember what I talked about, like likes to deal with like. If there are buyers in Pakistan, and there are sellers in Malaysia, and they like this Muslim thing, why not give them an opportunity to converse? Can you hit this Muslim-owned business, please? So the point here is, if you scroll up, these companies who have registered have ticked off that they're Muslim-owned business. They want to do business with Muslim-owned business, right? To them, that's important. That's like it is for Chinese people to do business with each other. You're not discriminating. You're just basically addressing preferences that exist in people's mind. You're translating that into a platform. So that's that. Let's go back, please. The second thing, and this is something that we're working with a number of government organizations. You see it says women-owned business. The biggest challenge in the Muslim world and the emerging markets is how do we bring the most important stakeholder in a family, a woman, online, even if they're selling handicrafts. How do we do that, right? If we can do that, then we're enfranchising people, we're empowering people, we're empowering families, right? That's really important. So for us, it's not just about making money, it's about what can we do to help our stakeholders. That's really important because at the end of the day, I have to go in front of my investors, in front of God Almighty. He's going to ask me, what did you do for the Ummah? What did I do? If I said that at least I created something, I gave people opportunities. What they do with the opportunities is up to them. Fair? Do you agree with me? But if I don't give you that opportunity and I'm just focusing on making money, then I am not a good corporate citizen. You know what sells in the West? Being a good corporate citizen. Do we see good corporate citizenship from the Muslim world? No. I'll be frank with you. Concepts like SRI, CSR, sustainability, ESG, none of these concepts exist in the Muslim world. Even academically, it doesn't exist. So what we at Zilzar try to do is we want to become mainstream. The values that Islam has embedded in us, we want to share that. We want people to take advantage of being able to see another side of what we're about. And it's not just words, we're doing it by conduct. Really, really important for all of us. Because all of you are entrepreneurs in the waiting, correct? You have a certain responsibility to the neighbor to the left of you and to the right of you. Do you agree with me? Right? So it's not just about business. It's about giving back. How do you give back? You give back in this way, and I'm sure you guys are much smarter than I am. You'll figure other things out, but someone has to spark that seed in your head for you to get going. So right now, I haven't talked anything about Zilzar, correct? I haven't done a hard sell about the Zilzar, correct? But that was not my purpose to come here. My purpose here is to basically open your mind to what SMEs, to open your mind about opportunities, about market access, to open your minds about giving back. Nothing more than that. Business will do. But the opportunity to share my sights, I was at Dow Jones for 10 years, then at Thomson Reuters for 5 years. And I started a company called USCA with the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Badawi here. It didn't work out, so we launched Zilzar. I've got other initiatives going. Most important thing for you all, don't give up. Do not give up. If you are in the same place a year from now as you are today, in my mind, you failed. Keep moving forward. I give lectures at a lot of universities globally, right? And that's my universal message to students. You guys are the middle class and the weight, you are consumers of the weight. Make your dollar. Let the companies like Zilzar and Lalong and other companies earn it by basically saying that I will give you my money, but what is your responsibility to humanity? And this is not lofty stuff up here. We're actually doing it. Okay? All right then. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Questions, hopefully in English.
Yes. Assalamualaikum. My name is Zilzar from Food Pharmacia. I would like to ask a question regarding about halal. I believe that each state or Muslim countries have their own halal standard. So some will recognize, some not. So how actually Zilzar deals with that issue?
Fair enough. What this young man is asking is, you've got 57 Muslim countries, and each country may have its own halal standards. And if I'm in Malaysia and I want to sell to Pakistan or Bangladesh or Morocco, how can Zilzar help me with the process? We are working with 18 certification bodies. Certification bodies basically sign off that your product has following certain processes and protocols, therefore it's permissible, which is what halal means, for Muslims to consume. So you would basically come to us and we would show you the process. We're not going to hold your hand, but we're going to guide you, go that way. Which is what you want, because you want to de-link dependencies from me. You want to grow your own business. All I'm doing is basically doing the following. What's the most valuable commodity in this world? Anyone know? What's the most valuable commodity? Is it gold? Is it oil? Is it diamond? Is it silver? Is it shares of companies? What is it?
Information.
Exactly. Because most respectable jurisdictions have laws against inside information. So what I'm doing is providing you information. If I provide you the right amount of information in 2 clicks, then you are on your journey of self-sufficiency. Make sense?
How to join Zilzar?
I'm sorry?
How to join Zilzar?
It's free.
It's
Free. You just hit the join button. There's free and there's a gold membership. So this year I've told our company that there's $500 for gold membership. We waived it. Join. You got nothing to lose. You learn about going online as a micro SME, seeing what's opportunities out there. See, most people and most B2B platforms basically say, come and sell. We take this one step further. I say, come and source. So for example, say you are a juice company, okay? And you want to sell your juices online. We also have on our platform companies that sell fruits. So you as a company want to source supply from as many suppliers as possible. So what we want to do is have you sell and have you source. Makes sense, right?
Thanks for sharing your perspective. Although you mentioned that you serve the purpose of sharing, the halal industry. Okay, my question is, first, having said that you mentioned about this free, when you mentioned about gold membership.
Yes.
So a membership normally, to my understanding, is yes, it is free now,
Right.
but we never know. Later you may charge because of the gold membership.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's one. Yeah. Second.
Can I answer that? Because I have a short-term memory. It'll be, trust me.
I may forgot the second question.
Okay, you have a short.
No, good.
I've got a staff that I got to pay. Right, so you can appreciate that people have to get paid. And so eventually, right now, I'm subsidizing investors are subsidizing, but eventually the business has to basically be self-sufficient. Next question.
Yes, fine. Next question was, as Lelong mentions about they earn certain commission from the merchant like us.
Right.
So now, how do you, as you mentioned just now, that yes, you will be, somebody will be subsidizing now.
Yes, right.
How you ensure that sustainability of the Zilzar to be continuous for having any income?
That's good. For a B2B platform, there are 5 ways to make revenue. Okay? We started off Zilzar modeling it to Alibaba the first 3 years, which is lead generation business matching. Okay? So the first way to make money on a B2B platform is advertising, easy. Subscription fees, gold member, silver member, platinum member. Third is what we call key search words, where if there are 1,000 companies in the space of cosmetics, you pay us, say, $1,000 a month. When someone puts in our internal search engine, halal cosmetics, your digital storefront comes up first. Fourth is transaction. Right now, as I said, you keep all the money that you basically get from the transaction, because this transaction is done online. I don't want to worry about payment gateways because I'm dealing in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, right? Payment gateway, international, a lot of regulations involved. I wanted to get my business model right with our own money, then go for Series A funding where you scale the business, and then use those proceeds to put in robust payment gateways, robust security.
What will be the continue with the third question?
Pardon me?
Can I continue with the third question? Or you
Does anyone mind if he asks a third question?
No problem.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, the third question was, you mentioned about robust payment gateway. Would it be fine for you to share? Are you dealing? Are you partnering with the payment gateway? Like Lelong, they have their own payment gateway.
Okay, fair enough. Lelong has been around. It's a B2C play plus other things, and they've done a wonderful job. Our model is different. Our payment mechanisms is going to be different. We have tied up with MasterCard. As you can see if you go back to the landing page, they are our strategic payment gateway partner. What they are working on now is a B2B payment gateway in China. They're basically beta testing it. If it works, then obviously we'll incorporate that with us.
And last and fourth and last question.
Anyone mind fourth and last question?
If my memory still remembers that you mentioned that you are in this industry for like 2-3 years.
Zilzar.
Yeah.
It's only about 14 months old, but really it's about 5 months old, the company.
Okay. In terms of merchant or shoppers, do you have some numbers?
Sure. I can slice it and dice it in a number of ways. We've got about 25,000 merchants from 130 countries, 10,000 from China, we've got 4,000 from Malaysia, 1,800 from Indonesia, and then Singapore, US, UK. The reason we've got that many is because we're just focusing in on what we know. I don't know everything. I can't offer education, I can't offer this, and I can't offer that, right? I have to offer solutions for SMEs' pain points. The biggest pain point for all of you who are SMEs, you've done business offline. Bringing you online is a challenge because they say, well, I need resources. I need to understand technology. Then I need to basically spend money on something called digital marketing to bring traffic to content. That's expensive. If I can take some of those headaches away, then I'm doing a service to you, right? So what we are on, sir, is what we call uncharted territory in this particular space, right? We are basically trying to enfranchise SMEs in the Muslim world. There are close to 400 million SMEs in the Muslim world. Some are micro SMEs. Some folks like you who may be 2 or 3 man shop. How do I give you a URL? For example, the mailman. How does he find your house? Because the letter has an address, right? a number and a street and it finds you. But what happens if there is no number on your house? The mail doesn't find you, acquaintances may not find you, people who are hawking stuff don't find you. The same thing happens with respect to being online. You need a URL because you never know where business can come from. We've got two campaigns that we did. One is made in Penang, powered by Zilzar, and made in Mindanao. What we did there is try to bring cottage industries online to have their own real estate because they're going to get crowded out in a bigger marketplace of Zilzar. Everyone needs to have their own space. Women-owned businesses, Muslim-owned businesses, powered merchants in Mindanao. So for us, that's segmentation hopefully gets you that traffic. Anything else? Anyone else? No? Then I thank you very much for joining.